Hello and welcome to another video from WhatAcca.com. We're looking ahead to the first Premier League games that take place in 2022. The fixture list is all set out. There's going to be games on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of January. Hopefully we'll get lots of matches, but obviously the COVID pandemic continues to have an impact on the schedule. So let's dive in anyway and start with the match at the Emirates Stadium between Arsenal and Manchester City. We're going to go for Arsenal +1 on the Asian handicap here. The reason for that is that we watched the match between Brentford and Manchester City the other night, and Brentford actually started off the game very brightly. Once Manchester City had taken the lead, they struggled to fashion many scoring chances. We just think it's been quite a long schedule for that team, and Arsenal had the benefit of a little break where their game was postponed in the previous game week. Arsenal +1 gives us a little bit of insurance. If the game is a draw, there's a profit, and obviously if City win by a single goal, we get our money back. Mikel Arteta goes up against Pep Guardiola, his his great friend, and he's obviously been part of that City coaching staff. And we just feel as though Arsenal are finally managed to hit the ground running and get have the look and the makings of a team who can challenge for a top 4 spot this season. They're certainly in pole position at the moment. Moving on to Leicester City against Norwich, we think it could be quite a one-sided affair at the King Power Stadium. Norwich seem to be all at sea at the moment, and we're going to go for Leicester -1 in the Asian handicap. That means we need Leicester to win by 2 clear goals in order to win with this bet. We think they're more than capable of doing so. They look really good against Liverpool from a defensive point of view, not just from an attacking point of view. Ademola Lookman took his goal particularly well in that game. James Maddison's been outstanding, and there's Iheanacho and Jamie Vardy as well to provide lots of attacking cut and thrust. Norwich just seem to be on the receiving end of so many heavy defeats at the moment, and so we're in no doubt that Leicester can win this game by a convincing margin. Moving on to the game between Watford and Tottenham Hotspur, we're going to go for over 2.5 goals in this game. In the 9 matches being played at Vicarage Road this season, there have been 32 goals scored, the majority by the opposition. And Tottenham are starting to rack up the goals in terms of scoring 13 in their past 6 matches in all competitions. So over 2.5 seems the right call, considering that Spurs are back on the goal trail and Watford lost 4-1 at home to West Ham in their last match. Crystal Palace go up against West Ham on New Year's Day, and we're going to go for the draw in this match. Palace, 50% of their home games have ended all square this season. They had a morale-boosting 3-0 win over Norwich recently, which doesn't amount to a great deal given Norwich's plight, but that was achieved without Conor Gallagher and the suspended Wilfried Zaha. West Ham United are favourites to win this game, and they did win 4-1 at Watford, but it must be shown that they haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 4 matches, and they're in a bit of a slump really until that win at Watford, and I'm pretty sure they'll find things a bit tougher when they go up against Palace. Moving on to the matches on the 2nd of January, we start with Brentford against Aston Villa. We're going to go for under 2.5 goals in this game. The Bees played pretty well against Manchester City. They were a bit wasteful with the ball, but the way in which they defended and largely kept Manchester City at bay for most of the game suggests that they can do something similar against a Villa team who are solid and organised themselves under Steven Gerrard. They're both quite tough tackling teams. We can see it being quite a niggly affair, and it could easily end up being a low scoring draw, but under 2.5 goals covers a number of different options, including 1-0 and 2-0 to either team. Everton Clash with Brighton, and we quite like the look of Brighton to win this game. They're slight outsiders to win at Goodison Park, and we're not sure that should necessarily be the case. The way in which the Seagulls played at Stamford Bridge was quite impressive. They were value for the draw in the end. Danny Welbeck scoring a late equaliser, and they are the kings of sort of scoring late goals. It was a pretty good performance, and with Everton not having had a game since the 16th of December, it's not necessarily the case that they're actually rested now. It's just that they might be actually a bit rusty and lacking a bit of cohesion. We've seen it with some of the other teams there, and it wouldn't surprise us if Brighton managed to come away with all 3 points in that game. Leeds go up against Burnley. We're going under 2.5 goals in this game. Marcelo Bielsa will certainly want to steady the ship, considering that his Leeds team conceded 16 goals in their previous 4 games. In the last 3 Burnley matches, although they haven't had a game for a while, apart from the one against Manchester United just at the time of recording, there was only 1 goal scored in all 3 of their games, so under 2.5 seems to be the obvious call here. Southampton Clash with Newcastle. and we're going to go for both teams to score. Yes, Southampton have started to pick up some form, and they've scored 6 goals in their last 2. They've scored a large number of goals and starting to really look more menacing under Ralph Hasenhüttl. Whereas Eddie Howe's team, they might be missing Callum Wilson and Alan Saint-Maximin for this game. They probably will after that. They both got injured against Manchester United. But under Eddie Howe, they will still carry an attacking threat. And we think that they might score a goal here, even if it's a consolation one. Southampton are quite strong favourites for this one. Chelsea go up against Liverpool. Should be an interesting match on Sunday. We're going to go for the Liverpool win in this game. Thomas Tuchel was quite an angry, despondent sort of figure after his team only drew 1 with Brighton. I think he was probably more annoyed by the situation and his own team's performance than the actual refereeing decisions or whatever else injustices that were perceived. Liverpool did lose at Leicester in their previous match, but we do think that they can bounce back in this game, and they do have their sort of first team largely back, albeit the fact that Salah and Mane will head off to AFCON straight after this game. But yeah, we just think Liverpool have got the capacity to edge it against quite a jaded and fatigued Chelsea team who are missing a number of key players, including Reece James, who came off in the last match against Brighton. Liverpool win there. Finally, last but not least, at Old Trafford, with Manchester United go up against Wolves, and we're going to go for the draw. It's just such a bigger price than back in the Red Devils, and it's hard to be confident about United at the moment against any team. They made hard work of winning away to Norwich 1-0, which it just looks like a bad result really, considering the way in which everyone else has been beating the Canaries. Previously to that, they weren't convincing when beating Palace 1-0, and then they were very unconvincing when drawing 1-1 at Newcastle in a game that they shouldn't have got anything from. Wolves have only conceded 14 goals in their 18 matches played this season. Defensively, they're as organised and structured as any team in the Premier League this season. And certainly, I think they're not out of the question that they might come away with a victory at Old Trafford. But the draw looks like a slightly safer play, and certainly brings into focus the goalless draw, which is something which Wolves would gladly take before kickoff. Those are the latest Premier League predictions and tips. Hopefully, they'll yield a few winners for you. We'll have our first accumulators of 2022 available on the site. They'll be going up very shortly, and you'll be able to find out who we're predicting for WhatAccas and both teams to score accas. Hopefully there's lots of games to go at. Make sure you get signed up for our emails if you haven't already for 2022. Hopefully we'll have a fantastic year for WhatAcca, and we'll be in touch again with another video looking ahead to the FA Cup games the following weekend. All the best for now, guys, and Happy New Year. Cheers now.